Hello and welcome to the number one horror podcast on Pornhub, Getting Off. I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Matt Ritter. And I am here with my co-hosts this evening. She is host of the She Lead Showcase Inside the Mind of In the Crowd and Storytime with Miss Katie Kinsey Bebe.
Hello.
And he is the purveyor of botch bots and chair shots and Rivet City Radio. The lesser half of the boss bitch herself, Allison, the honorary oos of Creation World, who is always here when we need him, especially last night. Thank you. He is the Will Gray.
Hola, Mateo.
It's really weird doing this and not having done it last night, but being on the show for just a little bit last night.
Just a smidge.
Yeah.
Just a smidge.
Mm-hmm.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Tired?
Less than 24 hours since the last time I saw you.
It
Quite
was.
literally, yeah.
Mhm.
Roughly.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a good day.
If you guys are looking down at the bottom, if you're watching this, which you probably are because Travis still hasn't got the audio out yet for these shows. This is episode 20 of Getting Off. We are talking what we watched 2023, which means we are going to be talking all of the horror movies that we have watched this spooky season. New shit, old shit, what we've been enjoying, what we love to watch. Like if there's anything we were like, oh yeah, this is like a tradition. I watch this every year, blah, 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 blah. We'll analyze some of the new movies that we saw if we went to theaters to go see them or whatever. I always had a Y Taekwon. Nice try though. That is the plan. We may or may not have some people show up mid-show. We'll see. Always surprised. I did it last night.
You did.
Came on,
Very
took my shirt
unsurprised.
off, flexed, lifted some weights, spat and swallowed.
It's quite literally everything that happened.
It was a good night.
It was a good night, except for the beginning of the night.
Yeah, I did have a nice little mental breakdown before the show. Thanks to a little bit of PTSD, so thanks, Vince.
Oh,
It's fine. We can talk about that later as well.
Plenty of things to talk about.
Plenty of conversations.
that's not the one I wanted. That is the one I wanted. All right. Well, I want to thank everyone. Let me suck on those tits. My tits or Will's tits? Because
I think you'd probably be able to no matter what.
yeah.
As long as it's one of you two.
Katie said she's not down, Taekwon. Sorry. What movie did you finally see last week, Sammy?
Oh, yours, Matt. There you go.
Mine are bigger. Taekwon strikes me as a bit of a size queen. Oh, you finally saw Edward Penis Hands last week. Very nice. You look like you have a question, Katie.
Nope.
That would
No, I've
be a
learned my
porn,
lesson.
that would be a porn parody
I kind of figured.
about a man named Edward.
See, I don't like that.
Oh, while podcasting with Will.
Oh yeah. That's right. We did that on Sorry for the Interruption, Matt. You and Jess helped out with that. The whole segment was sponsored by Get Show and Getting Offed. Or Smacking It Raw. Yeah, because we did the porn parodies, and Jess gave me a whole list of one, and you gave me a whole, like, you literally sent me a website. That was like nothing but a like. So we were on there for Sorry for the Interruption with the whole segment, and literally why we were on air, Sammy pulled it up and like started watching it while we were on air. It was great.
Was it because she's like a huge Edward Scissorhands fan and had to watch this, or was she just curious about the logistics of penis hands?
I think she was curious about penis hands, Matt.
Okay.
To be completely honest,
I feel like a lot of people are.
in conversation, that was definitely one that took her by surprise.
Good morning, JJ. Happy to have you back with us.
Good morning, JJ.
Good morrow. Good morrow.
She was curious.
Mhm.
From the picture, she looks curious.
Oh my God.
Will is not making a podcast. Will just like shows up and hosts other people's shows for shits and giggles. He's that damn good.
But thank you. I don't know about that.
That's not why we're here, though. I want to thank everybody for joining us. If you are joining us over at youtube.com/creationworld, where it is free to like, to subscribe, to comment. Well, what does that do?
It boosts the algorithm and it helps find new listeners.
I didn't hear that. Katie, what does that do?
Boost the algorithm, help find new listeners.
That is correct, which means, ladies and gentlemen, that if you like, if you comment, if you subscribe to our channel, you can whore me the fuck out like I've been asking you to. You can get me in the hands of your mom, your grandmother, your brother, your sister, whoever. Your best friends, your best friend's parents, your best friend's grandparents, your grandparents, alive or dead. You know, drop an iPod or an iPhone or something in there with some headphones, and
iPod.
you know, maybe you got them on ashes on the counter. Just turn that shit up. Make sure they can hear me. Share me with your family.
What is happening to you?
I'm just saying, like, I want to be experienced by as many of the people listening's close personal family and friends as possible. And the best way to do that is to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, it helps if you flick the bean, the notification bell up there at the top. Flick that bean. You'll get notified every time we go live, whether it is every other Saturday or every other Sunday for getting off. Saturdays at 11 p.m. every Saturday. For Smacking It Raw, 11 p.m. Central, midnight Eastern time, or Monday through Friday, noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, for the Creation Conversation, where I will have Katie on Monday and Will on Tuesday.
Hey.
We'll be talking all that nerdish tomorrow morning.
Hell yeah. Yes, sir.
You guys can also follow us at twitch.tv/Creation World. You're gonna show it? Why? There we go. There. Oh, it's fucking with me. Where, if you guys have Amazon Prime, you have Prime Gaming. If you have Prime Gaming, you link it to your Twitch account. You get a free sub every month. You can give that sub to us because we're fucking awesome, or Will, or Katie, because now at this point, after I put her over, she should have enough Twitch followers to receive subs. And if she doesn't, you guys are all fucking sad, sick, pathetic people. So go follow her like I fucking told you to.
Yeah.
What he said.
Anyway. No, for real, she deserves it. Please go show her some love and support. And let it. She has subs in real life. She needs subs online as well. Or actually, she has subs online, but she needs subs on Twitch as well, I guess.
Yeah, subs in real life? No, that's not true.
Do that. Link your accounts. You got to do it on your computer. Kind of sucks, but other than that, it's not terrible, and it costs you absolutely nothing. You're already paying for that, so please go do that.
Exactly. Do bird in the sun.
What's Katie? What's going on in the comments here?
You were doing the things.
I want to be experienced by all the church members. I was a member of the church at one point. I know what they like and what they don't like and what they lie about. I think that the church would really enjoy my brand of podcasting. I think it would go well.
Oh yeah.
I know there's one pastor particular who absolutely loved me. So Will and Matt run train on me. Sammy just subbed over on YouTube. We appreciate that. Getting my future fudge hole pounded as Will fucks my mouth is orgasmic. Or getting my fudge hole. I don't know where I got future from.
I also don't know where you got future from, but I just let it happen.
I'm gonna unfollow She Leads Showcase so Daddy Matt can torment me. Do not do that.
I don't even know if he follows it.
I will torment you without you punishing Katie. Like that's unnecessary. Don't worry.
Yeah, what the fuck type one?
And where the fuck were you last night? Because we had two people in here stealing your gimmick. We had Honey Bun and Cupcake.
Yeah.
Going at it for who could sexually harass me the most.
There was a lot happening.
And they didn't compare to you, but I was curious as if you knew, like, are you familiar with Honey Bun and Cupcake? Do you know them, Taekwon?
Ty sent them.
He might have.
It's like his little cousins or some shit.
Terrible.
All right. I got a list of 42 movies that I have watched so far this October.
Okay.
So I don't need to run that down, but let's start with what is probably the thing you guys enjoyed the most that you watched so far this year?
I'm not done with it yet. I have 3 episodes left. Fall of the House of Usher is fan-fucking-tastic.
Didn't you say that you hadn't started that last night?
I started today.
You got 3 episodes left.
Well, yeah. Well, I went to go see Exorcist Believer. I came home. had a snack, and I started binging Fall of the House of Usher. It's the Mike Flanagan shows. They're so easy to binge. They're like an hour long, but like they're so good. It's so fucking good. And it's based off Edgar Allan Poe stories, and I love Edgar Allan Poe. These last 3 episodes, I'm like, I wanted to like crank it out, but I had to take a shower. So like I could have only had like 2 episodes left, but you know, priorities.
I've been doing that. Like, I'll have to take a shower, and I've got a case for in my shower that I just pop my phone in, and I continue watching it as I'm showering.
Oh, I watch like on my TV. I don't watch on my phone.
I do a little bit of everything. I watch, well, that's why AW won't let me watch them live on
That's true.
Wednesdays.
It's because you watch it in the shower?
From a mobile device.
Oh.
Will, what's your favorite thing that you've watched so far this year? Old or new?
I am a huge documentary nerd. I'm also a big fan of haunted houses. So my favorite movie that I've watched this spooky season was actually a documentary. It's Monster Inside, the McCamey Manor documentary. What's up?
Me and Matt just talked about this last week.
We didn't talk about actually watching the documentary, like that it was out.
Yeah.
Being from Tennessee, I knew about McCamey Manor before most hipster shit I'll say, but you guys have heard me say some hipster shit. Like, I knew about McCamey Manor like 5 years ago, because it started to become kind of an underground thing in Tennessee for people who really liked haunted houses and going on haunts, because we have really loose and liberal laws here in the state as far as what haunted houses can do. So we have some of the best. So I was really curious about it. Did some research, got on the list, and I've been waiting for 3 years. And when I saw this documentary, I was like, this documentary does exactly what I wanted to do. It kind of exposes what Russ McCamey was doing, how he went about it, like the terrible things he did. And if you're into haunted houses, watch it. If you're into like psychological thrillers, watch it. Because the dude's absolute batshit. Because when you listen to him talk, you're like, this guy just literally just gets off and torturing people.
So Kate and I watched this last weekend, I want to say, or 2 weeks. It must have been last weekend. It was one of the things that we watched because I showed a document. She's all about documentaries and shit like that. So she was like, absolutely, yes, let's do that. She was all excited for it. And he actually, like, so they have a bunch of video footage of the guy and the fucked up shit that he does, and kind of says from like his own recordings that he released online of him literally torturing motherfuckers, like for his own pleasure, manipulating psychologically and physically torturing people. But
Love that.
he himself refused to actually come and be a part of this documentary, which they let us know at the end. Like, we reached out, we tried to talk to him, get his comments. He wanted nothing to do with it. So I guess you call them victims. We got accounts from victims. And also, and I do this with everything now, but his followers are kind of akin to like the MAGA crowd, where like they are so diehard for him and what he's doing that they're attacking anyone that says that. Like, if anyone's had a negative experience, oh, you're full of shit, you're making up, you're lying, you're a hater, you're like, they gang up and they assault these people online for anything. There were groups like warning you, hey, if you do this, this is what you're in for, and like they're getting them shut down and taken down and all of this crazy shit. And again, it's like, it's not just like, so he'll say on one of the videos, he specifically says, generally when you go into one of these horror experiences, because it's not really a haunted house, this is like an experience, there's a safe word, right? And you can speak a safe word when you've had too much, you're done. There is no safe word with him. He decides when you are broken either physically or mentally to the point to where you can't stop. It is his decision when you stop, not your own. You can beg and plead as much as you want, and he is degrading these people. There are people getting the shit beat out of them. Like, there was a woman who came out, her whole face was fucking swollen. They're spraying mace in your face and electrocuting you and all sorts of crazy shit. I don't listen. I love a good haunted house. I have never once thought, hey, I want to go sign a form so someone can kick the shit out of me and see how long I can take it. Never.
Yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you.
When we drive through to Florence to go to the New South shows, we drive through Somerton, which is where McCamey Manor is. And every time we drive through, I always tell Al, I'm like, let's stop just so I can take a picture. Like, because it's bad, but and I'm not trying to dox anybody, but there are these groups that Matt's talking about. He'll call them haters, but it's people who like canvass the area. In the documentary, it talks about how he works at a Walmart. He still works at that Walmart. Like, you could still walk into today, and if you bring up McCamey Manor, he'll pretend like he has no idea what you're talking about. Just so people can't fuck with him at work. But he's living his life.
He tried to bring it to Chicago, and we said, fuck that, not going to happen. And here's the thing, and maybe this is like my thing, is like, if I go into a situation where it's like, hey, we're going to kick the shit out of you, we're going to do all this fun shit, blah, 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 and we're going to torture you and see how long, like, I'm fighting back. There is no, you're going to punch me in the fucking face and tase me and shit and talk shit and try and, like, I'm fighting the fuck back. So maybe that's why they decided, hey, maybe Chicago's not the place to go. Exactly what Taekwon said. Because that would have been shut down real quick. That motherfucker would be gone. He tried to pull that shit out here. For me, because I did see that and I enjoyed it, Fall of the House of Usher is on my list, Katie. I just haven't got to it. Here, let me tell you the things I haven't got to yet this year, because I do have a list. Let me pull that up. Talk to Me, which I'm saving for Halloween. Totally Killer and The Meg 2 are the three movies on Amazon, or the three movies. One's on Max, one's on Amazon Prime. Those two we'll probably get to next weekend, is kind of the goal. And then the last one that we have on our list, Talk to Me, will be on Halloween. We are 3 of the 5 episodes of What's Out for American Horror Story Delicate down.
Okay.
And then I still want to check out Suburban Screams. I haven't got to touch that by John Carpenter. I really want to check that out.
Oh, I have watched a few of those, actually.
I am all caught up on Goosebumps, and The Fall of House of Usher is on our list as well, because we like I don't like it as much as you and Kate do. Like, the ending of the first season really pissed me the fuck off, and I thought it was stupid.
Hey.
I did. I don't like happy endings.
Then Bly Manor is the perfect show for you.
I watched Bly Manor. It was fine. I also watched what was the other one with the fucking crazy religious bitch and the vampires?
Oh my god, Midnight Mass.
Yeah. I love Midnight Mass, especially when like he rode that poor lady out to the middle of the fucking lake or the ocean or whatever, and then just like lit himself on fire in front of her. Fucking fantastic. But here's the thing. I'm gonna watch because they keep casting Carla Gugino, and if you put her in fucking anything, I don't care how old she is, I'm gonna fucking watch it.
She's
I still
one of the
see
most
her
beautiful people in the world.
I still see her in Sin City in a thong topless, walking around in black and white every time she walks onto the screen. That's what I picture. I will watch everything Carla Gugino.
She is quite literally one of the most beautiful people in the entire world, and that's why I love.
One time.
That's why I love Mike Flanagan, because he quite literally casts the majority of the same people in all of his shows, like Hill House, Bly Manor, Midnight Mass. I didn't watch Midnight Club. I also didn't realize that was him. And this, and it's phenomenal.
Okay.
So much. You're gonna love it, Matt.
Okay. I'm also all caught up on Chucky and all caught up on, I think I said Goosebumps. So I have done that, because those I can do on my own. Those aren't like watch with Kate things. So my movie, so like we've watched kind of everything we've talked about. Like 2023 has been a great year. Like we got Scream 6, we got Evil Dead. I checked out Insidious the Red Door finally. I've got caught up, but the new thing in October that I think I liked the most was Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
You mean Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It's not a good, like, it's not, I'm not telling you this is a good horror movie. You need to go watch it, but it is a fucking experience. All right.
I'm not watching it.
It really fucking is.
I'm not doing it.
I enjoyed the shit out of what it is ass. That's the thing though. It's so ass that it was fire. Like perfect dichotomy back to back in the chat. Very fucking brutal. Ridiculous fucking premise. It had titties, and really that's all I asked for in horror movies. So, you know, you give me that and we're good. And it was like unexpected titties too, which was weird because like
You told me
it
that.
came out of nowhere. Like he's just grabbed his girl, all of a sudden her shirt's off. But then the one girl that I thought was gonna get topless didn't. Anyway, it was a fun, weird fucking time. And I'm honestly, when I saw the teasers for what Tigger's gonna look like in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, I'm kind of fucking stoked for that now too. So especially if they did so well, like I expect them to up the production just a little bit. So we'll see.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2.
I'd rather have Will's cancer return than watch that.
That's actually insane.
Not what I said. I said it with a T. It's different. What up, Tommy?
Tommy.
Hi, Tom.
So that was probably my favorite thing. Katie, what else have you been watching?
Like I said, I watched Exorcist Believer today.
Have you seen it, Will?
I have not. No, I'll wait for streaming for that one.
Okay. So
Okay.
you don't mind
So
spoilers?
Oh,
Will,
I'm
then?
okay with spoilers. I live in a world of spoilers. It's fine.
Okay. I was
All
gonna
right.
say I wouldn't spoil, but okay.
This is your spoiler warning, ladies and gentlemen. We will be talking Saw X. We will be talking Exorcist Believer, and we are getting into Exorcist Believer now. So if you do not want spoilers for this movie, now is the time to tune back in in 2 or 3 minutes when we're done.
Yeah, 2 or 3 minutes. Bold. No, I didn't know what I was. I was intrigued when I went to go see this. I didn't know what I was expecting. I fucking loved it. It was really cool. The people in my theater just pissed me the fuck off so very much. But besides that, it was really good. Having 2 girls possessed instead of one was an interesting idea. One lives, one dies. I was like, no way. They can't do that. They did. They did.
So I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It was really slow to start off, which
That's fair.
drove me nuts. There's another movie from my past that I rewatched recently with someone for their first time that I didn't realize how fucking slow it was. We'll talk about that later. But when we got to the actual exorcism and they fucking snapped that priest's neck,
Dude.
that was about the time I was like, when she was kind of like fucking her dad up, I'm like, all right, we're getting somewhere. We're going somewhere. Like, this is okay.
Yeah.
But when they broke the priest's neck, I'm like, all right, now you got me. Now what do we do? Where are we going with this? And then it kind of ended after that. And I'm like, oh.
The priest who didn't even want to fucking be in there in the first place, and he was like, Leslie Umjuda goes inside, is like, hey, bitch, fight's in there. Priest comes in, dead. He's in the scene for about 3 minutes.
Of all of these movies being like, oh, the Catholic Church is not going to condone this exorcism and we're not going to get involved. And shut the fuck up and just send them in there. Like, we know what they're there for. Stop trying to cock tease us. I did know for a fact, like I saw, it was not a twist for me. When they said choose one to live and one to die, I knew for a fact that when that dude was going to be the one to say the shit. And when he did, what exactly was going to happen?
He was the absolute worst person in the entire movie. It's like, you suck.
I think you meant sexorcist with an S.
No. But no, like I said, I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. Not what I was expecting. The just how everything was shot was really well done, and like I'm a big sucker for that. So
there was just like 20 minutes of like, we're looking for these girls. Where are these girls? And I'm like, they were in the fucking well. Like they weren't even that far from school. How is it this hard to find them? Like, where did they go? What happened?
A barn.
They ended up in a barn at some point.
They
confusing.
don't know how. 30
All right,
miles from where they were.
I have a question for the two of you then. Having not seen it, but having seen, can you not hear me?
No, I can't. I'm just. You had a question, so I'm listening.
Oh, well, you said earlier, like you asked, I couldn't hear you, Katie, and I was like checking my mic, make sure my shit's set right.
You scared him.
So when you did it that time, I was like, "Fuck, can you not hear me at all? Like, is my mic?" After seeing the Exorcist trailer, it seemed like they were gonna kind of make some callbacks to the original series throughout. Did they make callbacks to the stories throughout the series?
The first one.
The
I was gonna
first
say
one?
I've only seen the first one, and
Yeah.
they did.
Okay. I was curious about that because that was one of the things I get excited about when they do like continuations of stories and they call back to canon events. I love when they do that. But I'm
Yeah.
also a pro wrestling fan.
They do that, and that is nice. That is cool. There are a couple nice cameos in there as well. But
Oh,
I
yeah.
will say, outside of the thing that we just mentioned with the priest, pretty much everything that happens that's scary in the movie they show in the trailer, which was also kind of like a.
I hate when
Yeah, they do that with like everything now, though, so it didn't really surprise me.
I know, but there's a way to set it up to where, like, even though you showed it, and this was just like, no, everything, like the girl walking into the church and doing her thing, and like all of the really cool
Body the
scenes,
blood.
they put them all in, and there was like no interesting setup to be like make it still cool when you watched it. It's just like, oh no, that's kind of exactly what I thought it was going to be when I saw the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, like little stuff in the background here and there,
Yeah,
but like, and like ever since Hill House and Insidious and the Conjuring movies, I'm always watching in the background to see what the fuck is happening because I don't trust these people anymore.
you say that, but I'm pretty sure it was the QR codes and following the White Rabbit that got you looking in the background at everything.
Well, wrestling wise, yes.
We give
Movie
Braze,
wise,
and now everything you do, you're just
Insidious came out before the QR codes.
like, not important.
Whatever.
What about you, Will?
It's a horror movie, but it's very much, in my opinion, more so a comedy, and that was totally killer. I know you said you hadn't got to it yet.
I'm excited
So
for it, though.
I'll try to speak in as few spoilers as possible. Katie, have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Then I will try to be extra safe then. The whole idea of a time traveler trying to prevent a serial killer is hilariously awesome. But when she gets back in time and she meets her mom and she
Right.
starts going through the whole thing, one of the things I immediately was taken back from was I'm old, and we know that. We accept that in most cases. Watching her go back to I think it was 1987 was the year she went back to in the movie. And I was like, holy shit, because she transforms back and the first thing she does is notice the Native American mascot from her school went back to the old 1980s, like Washington Redskins style, like overtly racist, like mascots. And this is the first thing she said was, oh, good. There's the blatantly racist shit I was expecting. And the whole one-liner from there goes on because it was exactly what you would think if a Gen Z time traveled back to the 80s. Like,
Okay.
at one point she's screaming things. She's getting bullied by the football players and she's screaming things like, this is unwanted touch, like as she's getting like thrown across the room by the bullies. Like, it's hilarious. The whole thing is just enough of poking fun at this current like generation that it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, it was really well done. I think this is a little bit of a spoiler, but they start tying in Mandela effects because you see things happening in the past and what's happening in the current day. So as she changes shit in the past, the current day starts changing, but they cognitively start realizing these Mandela effects are happening. What?
I really like that. No, it just
Yeah.
that like there's all the ideas of like they turned on the CERN super collider and we've moved into another reality, blah blah blah, for Mandela effects. But the idea that someone's going back in time to do something and it's slowly
Causing these to
changing
happen.
things from movies and TV shows and just shit that we know for a fact were a thing, and it just weird random small tweaks and changes like the whole I Love Lucy thing and pretty much everything else. Like, very interesting. I like that. I really do.
It's cool.
So a cool horror movie, but also a good comedy. Like, I legitimately laughed throughout the majority of the movie.
All right. You want to talk good comedy? I literally just got done watching this and laughed my fucking ass off. The Blackening. It's on Stars. It was fucking hilarious. It was great. I'm assuming neither of you have seen it yet.
No.
Okay. So again, without giving too much away, it is a horror comedy. It is a group of Black people celebrating Juneteenth at a cabin in the woods and getting roped into a game about who the blackest is for reasons. There's a very racist board game there, and it was fucking hilarious. It was great the way everything played out. The scenes during the end credits, just I was dying laughing the whole time. Right in the beginning, you've got this chick who, like, the door opens, so she's like trying to intimidate the person, and she says something. She's like, "Oh no, that's DMX," because she does a DMX voice, and just, dude, I was laughing my ass off the entire movie. It was fucking fantastic. So
That sounds like a great time. I love a good comedy horror movie.
Like Cabin in the Woods. That's another one that always comes
I
to mind.
fucking love Cabin in the Woods. That is still on my list to watch this year before it's over. That's one that I watch every year.
Okay.
What else you got, Katie?
I mean, Saw X.
Spoilers ahead.
There we go. I liked it. I would say I loved it. I was expecting more gore than I got. I mean, you and I talked about it, like the girl cut her leg off. Ugh. It was nasty. That one definitely got me.
That was rough. So here's my thing with Saw X. I don't know if, like, I just had bad, like, so full disclosure, Kate and I were I got to go see Exorcist Believer because Kate did not want to. So, like, I found time, went and saw it, but I saw it by myself. And I've only been to a few movies by myself, especially since I've been married, like this, Transformers, Rise of the Beasts, and now Saw X. We were supposed to see Saw X 2 weekends. So the first weekend we were supposed to go, she got sick, couldn't go, so I went and saw Exorcist. Second weekend she was supposed to go, something was going on, and she wasn't feeling going to the movies. And I told her, I'm like, well, I'm not waiting anymore. I'm just going to go see it. And she's like, that's fine. I'm like, it's completely up to you if you want to go to the movies or not. If you don't want to go, like, I'm going. I've paid for these tickets. I'm not canceling them a second time. Like, I'm just going to go. And if you don't want to go, if you're cool missing it, cool. If not, you're more than welcome to come with me. I'm still taking Zoe to the babysitter. Like, you can just have a day to yourself to chill, whatever. So she opted not to go. So I don't know if it was like because I was sitting in the theater by myself, I didn't have anyone to enjoy it with. But, like, I'm watching Saw, and it was exactly what I expected. Amanda looked like shit. I love her, but she was way too old to play herself in a role between Saw and Saw 2, which is what Saw X takes place in, or Saw 10 takes place in. It's really Saw 1.5.
Yeah.
Will, you'll appreciate this. He goes for a cancer treatment outside of the country, like a miracle cure for cancer. And it's not real. And then he gets revenge for the people that, lied to him and tricked him because he figures it out. But like the twist, saw it coming a mile away. Like, I knew everything that was going to happen. I knew what was going on the entire time. I knew when they were on that fucking thing, like
The seesaw.
what the end game was. I knew there was nothing in there that I was like, okay, I did not expect that. And that's what I want from a Saw. There's always, like, when Dr. Gordon shows up at the end of fucking Saw, what is that, 8?
Seven.
7?
Wait. 7.
Okay. Like, when Dr. Gordon shows up, and, like, there's always something in there, like, I don't really expect at the end, right?
Yeah.
I saw through this movie beat for beat the entire way. I knew exactly what was going on. I knew that John expected himself to be put in that thing, and this is exactly what he wanted, because this is who he is. Like, I know him too well now. You really have to do something to fool me. I saw every step, and then I'm just sitting there, and they walk out all happy at the end, which I knew was going to happen because, like, it takes place, and there are still 2 movies before he fucking dies, or 3 movies before 2 before he dies, because he's dead at the beginning of 4. So I'm like, I know where this is going, but still, like, I wanted a little something to fucking, like, oh, I did not expect that. And the end credit scene, It was cool. I appreciated that, but also,
Of all the people to mess with, you chose John Kramer. Fuck off, Hoffman. Nobody asked. The Hoffinator.
what up, Just? How's
Hi,
San Jose,
Justin.
bro? So that's kind of. I didn't hate it. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I've actually got a new appreciation for Jigsaw after rewatching it. So there's that, because that actually did have a good, like, when the lasers come down and everything, and they did that really well. So like, but and same thing for Spiral, the Book of Saw. Like, that's a fun installment outside of the regular Saw series.
Yeah.
I like Spiral. What was your favorite trap in Saw X?
Probably the radiation machine.
That would
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
suck. Yeah, that's all you had to say was radiate. Whew, nope.
He said no thank you.
Nope.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
radiation machine.
I can't
Yeah.
wait now.
Yeah, I'd say that one, or literally like having
Has
to
it hit
cut
streaming
through
yet?
the leg.
It is for rent, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be.
Katie and I actually watched the trailer for, or like a scene for
Teaser.
the next, the teaser scene for the new Strangers movie. I'm still like, I didn't love Strangers Pray at Night. I loved the Strangers. This looked really good and fun, and I'm excited for it. So I'm down. Like,
Yeah. I mean, Strangers quite literally gave me a panic attack, I'm pretty sure, when I watched it. Because I was alone, and I think I was home alone. So that made it even worse. I still haven't seen Pray at Night. I don't know if I really want to.
it's not
But
as unsettling. It's really not.
but I will check this out once it comes out, which is, I believe, is next year or end of this year.
You know, I'm stoked for it. Will, next on your list?
I have two that I watch regularly around Halloween every year. They're my two favorite zombie movies, and I watch them pretty much back to back when I watch them. It's 28 Days and 28 Weeks Later.
Okay.
I like zombie movies, and that includes the comedy ones. I loved Zombieland. I loved, Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
What I like about 28 Days Later is the idea of when the main character wakes up and he's in the coma in the hospital and he walks out as somebody who's, had the intrusive thoughts, and you've been there. Like, what do you do in that situation? If you wake up and the whole world's shut down around you and you're the last person alive, like, what would you do? And you kind of get to see like London shut down through his eyes. And from the beginning of the movie, there's so many parts of 28 Days Later that like kick you in the nuts emotionally. Like when he gets back to his parents' house and he finds the note from his parents that's like, Connor, don't wake up, and they're, asleep in their bed where they, drank the wine and took the sleeping pill so they would never wake up. And then he woke up and came home and found his parents and had to read the note. And it's like, how fucking terrible would that be?
It's awful.
So it's and then as the movie progresses and they start introducing more living characters, you start realizing that it's not so much, it's like The Walking Dead almost. It's not so much that it's a movie about zombies, it's about surviving in a world that zombies also coexist, because you realize how fucked up the military is, and that continues into 28 Weeks Later. What?
Oh.
Tommy got a chuckle out of Katie.
That's all I saw for the longest time last year because of Stranger Things. They made it a whole fucking song and everything. It's great.
Fun fact, and this is why I love you. I never got into 28 Days and 28 Weeks Later. I've watched both of them once, and I've never revisited them. I don't know why. I don't know what it was. Something about it just didn't click for me. And I guess it might just be I'm not huge on, like, I'll watch Shaun of the Dead. I'll watch, like, there are zombie movies I'll check out, like Zombieland, of course, shit like that. I have Land of the Dead. I have Dawn of the Dead, the remakes from like the 2000s, shit like that. but zombie movies really aren't like high
Your
up on
thing.
my list of what I really enjoy. Like they're not bad. However, for zombie comedy, if you haven't watched it, Black Friday with Bruce Campbell and Devon Sawa is fucking great.
Love Devon Sawa.
It's not a traditional zombie movie, but it is pretty much a zombie flick.
Okay.
Imagine people working at a department store on Black Friday and the customers start turning into zombies, and then there's other things going on.
Honestly,
sounds
it sounds like
amazing.
the mall.
Yeah. So
Train to Busan. You're on a train and the zombie outbreak starts while you're on the train.
I won't watch movies about trains for personal reasons.
I respect that.
Just a thing.
It's fair.
But I mean, 28 days and 28 weeks later, because it's the kind of like the rage virus, right? Like they're the rage zombies. They're not your regular slow walker, blah 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 blah. Like
These
it's a
motherfuckers are
different kind of zombie. And I know there are a lot of people out there that fucking love them. I do own and have watched multiple times Zombie Strippers.
The cool thing about it is there's a lot of like pseudo political overtones in it as well, because you realize that at the end of the first movie that only England was overran. The United, like not the United Kingdom, just specifically the island of England. Because at the end of the movie, you realize that the rest of the world never shut down. So what makes it unique is in 28 weeks later, when they start to move people back in onto the island, there's this whole thing about finding the woman who is the carrier, and they can use her to make the cure. But it's that fucking tunnel, man, that connects the island to the mainland. And at the end of 28 weeks later, in the after credits, all you see is a zombie running through the tunnel up the stairs. And you see the Eiffel Tower at the top. And you're like, oh shit, now he's in mainland Europe. And
Yeah,
that's
it's
where the
just like the
movie
Bad Bugs.
stops. You know? So everybody's been patiently waiting for 28 months later, which is the third one that's supposed to come out. Danny Boyle's coming back to direct it, who was the original director from 28 Days Later. So here's hoping that maybe we'll eventually get it.
I'm waiting for 28 years later when they're in space and they finally think that they can come back to Earth.
Take it easy, Jason X.
I was about to say, says the guy who just like circle jerked Saw 12 for the 100th time. Like, no, I'm just kidding. Fast and the Furious of horror movies.
I'm dead serious. Like the idea of like them at the end of 28 months later getting in like a spaceship and leaving the planet because it's being overrun, they can do nothing. And then 28 years from now being like, all right, everything should calm down. Let's go down and see what life's like down on the planet. And yeah, no, I'd be down for that. I would. I will probably check out 28 months later, and I will probably watch the first two again for the second time before I go check it out. So
Okay.
let's see, what else do I got here? Slaughterhouse.
I can't stand you.
Because we did Monster Inside. Did Exorcist Believer, did Saw X. Slaughterhouse is fucking terrible. As you would expect. I'm not gonna. It's not Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I'll put it that way. For a movie about a sloth murdering people in a sorority, like it's stupid. It's meant to be stupid. If you go in knowing it's going to be stupid, you'll probably have a good time. It takes place in a sorority house, so I expected some spring break shenanigans. Got none. So that was a little disappointing. But yeah, no, a sloth mass murdering a bunch of college kids at a sorority house, and how the sloth gets there, and the reason for why he's murdering all of them, and just how talented and skilled a sloth can be at, like, you know, using cruising and abusing social media, taking selfies, all this fun shit. Yeah, no, it's a time. It really is. Like, have you ever seen a sloth use a computer before?
No. I love
Yeah,
shenanigans.
no shenanigans, but I love shenanigans.
Who doesn't love shenanigans?
We'll do a twofer because that I watched that. It's new. But Pet Sematary Bloodlines was actually really fucking fun.
Okay.
I did not like the remake of Pet Sematary. This is a prequel. This is the old man who, sometimes that is better, like from the original Pet Cemetery. This is like how he got involved and knows about all of this shit, and like you get the whole backstory canon of like where this cemetery came from, what's going on, how long it's been around, blah 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 blah, why Judd was there, all of this shit. And it was really interesting. And I enjoyed the cast. I liked the way they went about it and the reasonings for it and all of that. And I wasn't really expecting much going into it, but I enjoyed the shit out of it. So I think it's on Paramount. If you got time, go check it out.
Okay. Love a good lore story.
Yeah, if you're familiar with the Pet Cemetery story, like, or even if you're not, like, because it's a prequel, you might be like, all right, I want to go check out the rest of the shit. And mind you, the remake was fucking terrible. I do not recommend going and checking out the remake. It was not good. I love John Lithgow. Not doing it. Even though it's really bad, I have a fondness for Pet Cemetery 2 because it's the first Pet Cemetery I remember watching as a child. So, Edward Furlong. Katie, what else you got?
No, what is it? No One Will Save You?
Yep.
Was that what was it called? Yeah. 100% not what I expected when you were like, hey, watch this. I was like, okay. I was expecting like a Hush type situation. She's in like a house alone, kind of isolated. Nope. Aliens. Didn't expect it.
Wow.
No dialogue in the entire movie.
Except for one scene.
One scene. A line is repeated. It was so good. The main actress, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head, she was phenomenal. She held that movie fucking down, and everything was it was like so much better than I expected, but 100% not what I expected.
Oof. Never mind. You said aliens. I'm watching. It was not like when I watched the trailer for this, I was thinking like home invasion, right? Mm-hmm. Hush, like Katie said, stuff like that. So I'm watching this movie and like you get a sense that something's going on that they're not quite telling you. You're waiting for it to come out. And it finally does in a very interesting way. But like when you see who's invading the home and it's fucking aliens, it's weird, right? Yeah. Like, but weird in like a cool way. And she just kind of stumbles her way through it. My only problem was the ending.
Yeah, the ending's a little
corny.
wonky.
But other than that, like a really weird, fun, just out there Hulu fucking movie that I stumbled upon, and I was like, yeah, you might want to check this out, Katie. It's not that bad. Like, it's not. For a movie where nobody talks for 99.9% of the movie, and it's got aliens that you don't expect, like, and I don't think I spoiled the aliens for you.
No, you didn't at all.
Yeah, I saved that.
You were like, hey, watch this. I was like, okay. And then we talked about it on an episode of Getting Offed. And I was just like, what in the fuck did you make me watch?
It was actually one of the first things that I watched this year.
Wow.
What else you got, Will?
Dr. Sleep. So you, me, and my sister have been talking about doing that, Shining Dr. Sleep episode for a while. I rewatched it a few days ago because I hadn't seen it since it came out. And one, I forgot how good it was. I like the way they portray the story. Having read the book when I was in high school, but loved the Stanley Kubrick version of The Shining. Stanley Kubrick's vision of The Shining is very different than Stephen King's idea of what he wrote. Stephen King has said a lot. He produced the movie, but he kind of hated it because Stanley Kubrick put so many of his own flares into the story. So when I watched Dr. Sleep, having read The Shining, Dr. Sleep is a sequel to the book The Shining, not Stanley Kubrick's movie The Shining.
Right.
You don't learn enough about and the shine and everything that happens if you've only seen the Kubrick movie, because they portray his dad as the main character, and depending on how you read the book, in a lot of ways, Danny could be seen as almost being the main character.
So we've talked about this. I've only seen, well, no, I think I've seen the made-for-TV movie as well, but I've only seen it once. It was a long time ago. I'm most familiar with Kubrick's movie. I've seen Dr. Sleep 2.5 times. I really like the ending when we get back to the hotel.
Yes.
It is one of my favorite things about the movie Ready Player One is that The Shining is in it. It's Kubrick's Shining, and they go in there and they're experiencing that world. Like when that happened, I fell in love with the movie Ready Player One based off of that. I started reading the book The Shining a couple times now. I have not finished it, but I've started reading it, and I see what you're getting at with, and kind of like, because Stephen King's biggest criticism was he felt like Kubrick's movie was too cold, where there was supposed to be a warmth with the family and everything there that Kubrick kind of left out and made them kind of like a cold, no love in that family. And there's a lot backstory for Jack and everything that is in the books that isn't really in Kubrick's movie. I will say, not knowing as much about The Shining, Dr. Sleep doesn't work so well. You are 100% correct on that. I was lost until we got to the fucking hotel. I had no idea what the fuck was going on or why this shit was happening or what any of this stuff meant the first couple times I watched it. So knowing that if I finish the book, it's going to make more sense, that's a positive. Like I figured things out, and like he has hints to like Shining and other stuff. Like he had his what the fuck was it? There was like a Stephen King Castle Rock, which I think was on Hulu or Paramount or something like that.
Yeah.
But he had a show called Castle Rock, and there was hints at The Shining and stuff like that in there too. So like I've been able to piece things together without reading the book here and there a little bit. But
that was to me, it was really well done. Plus the antagonist of the movie, the lady who runs, I guess you could call it the carnival, the ones that seeking out the younger, stronger people who can shine so they can like take their energy. She was smoking hot, just ridiculously hot.
We love you, Tommy.
I've been on many trips and not got back to the hotel right.
The last new thing that I've watched this year was Insidious the Red Door. Fuck them. Fuck them so hard. I have wanted one thing from the goddamn Insidious series. At the end of Insidious 2, they go to Specs and the dude go to a fucking house and they meet a little girl and she's like paralyzed in a wheelchair, and the ghost of what's her nuts shows up and she's there and she sees something behind the wheelchair, and that's the story I want. And they have not fucking finished that story. That's all I've been asking for.
They're not going to.
They're not. And it pisses me the fuck off every time they make a goddamn movie and it's not that movie, because that's all I've ever wanted, was to know what the fuck was in the corner of that girl's room that left her fucking paralyzed.
I mean, I'm assuming it's never mind. I don't remember which one I was thinking of.
You're thinking of the one where the other girl's paralyzed, but that was something attached to the apartment that she lived in, and this was a different house somewhere else. So I'm going to say no. It's not the heavy breathing black fucking dude. Ugh. I have not seen Talk to Me. We have it. We are watching it on Halloween. We're saving it for Halloween. I've heard a lot of good things about it though. Insidious the Red Door was fine. Like it's later. There's a whole thing about like they don't remember and then they start remembering. And again, a very like, I know what's going on. I know what the further is. I don't need a 40-minute fucking intro into what this movie, like what I'm waiting for in this movie. This shit is driving me insane. We're like, we're going to give you this nice long build and tell the story about this family and like what they're going through and their problems. And like, I don't give a fuck about any of that. I'm there for the red and black demon and his claws and fucking Tiny Tim playing on the radio and the fun shit. That's why I'm there. I didn't need 40 minutes of fucking what the fuck's his name? Not I want to say Dylan, but it's not Dylan. The kid's name.
Fuck. What is his name? What is his name?
Not important. I didn't need 40 minutes of this father-son story and blah, blah, blah. Like, I wasn't there for a heartfelt, like, father-son reunion over trauma. That's not why I was there. I was there for what was behind the Red Door, how the Red Door got introduced, and how the fucking demon came back into their lives, and what was going to happen this time.
Dalton,
there we go. I knew it was a D.
Yeah.
All about the D.
It wasn't bad.
Triple
it really
D.
wasn't. But by the end of it, I kind of enjoyed it. Just something about a lot of movies I've been watching this year. The one I was talking about earlier was The fucking Ring. I forgot how slow that fucking movie is.
Yeah.
Like, so John and Caroline came out from Tennessee for the weekend. We did our Halloween party. I've known John since I was 3. We're best fucking friends. Him and his girlfriend stayed the night. And Caroline isn't really big into horror movies. John's kind of been getting her into watching them this season. So they wanted to watch a scary movie when I got off work on Friday. So I'm like, all right, what do you guys want to watch? And Caroline's like, what's the last thing that scared you? And John said the last movie he remembers watching that really scared him was The Ring. I'm like, I've got The Ring. We can put that on. And like, I remember originally watching The Ring and like, yeah, it was fucking creepy and scary and shit. I'm sitting there and I'm watching it. And I'm like, this is boring as fuck. It takes forever to get to anything fucking fun. Like until she wakes up with her son and her son looks at her and goes, you weren't supposed to help her. Like the movie is boring as shit for the most part. Rewatching it, I was like, what the I don't know if it's just like the mindset I'm in now, if like because we're into such instant gratification as a society or whatever, but like
you need to just sit back and relax.
I did sit back and relax, but the thing was like I generally don't have a problem rewatching movies. I rewatch most of the movies I'm going to run down on the rest of the list that I've watched this year. I've watched a million fucking times and I enjoy them every fucking time. I don't know what it was about The Ring, but it was just getting on my fucking nerves.
You were just very angry, I guess. I mean, Insidious Red Door, I liked. What is with him?
How is he taking the time to change his profile picture every time?
Like, so, like he's gone through 5 already. Like, calm down, sir.
It's dedication, Tommy.
That was me opening a can.
What were you saying, Katie?
Oh, Insidious Red Door. I mean, I love Patrick Wilson with all of my heart and soul. So, like, I will watch basically anything that man is in. And I love the Insidious franchise. So I was intrigued to see what they were going to do. I liked it. I like the fact that they... Well, I mean, I really like the whole thing about it. But, like, the theme of, like, reconnecting with your dad, I don't know what that's like. But that was cute. So...
Hope for the future?
No, there's no hope there. But like I did like once I watched it, I came home, like I wrote up like a whole thing about the movie and put it on something, I don't remember what. But like it was a cool thing to see because you don't really see like good father-son relationships in horror movies anymore. Like it's rare. So
yeah, but see, again, I'm never going into a movie looking for that. Like, that's not why I go to horror movies. It's not for like the insight of the relationship between it. Like, that's not what intrigues me about horror. I don't want the main focus of the horror movie that I'm going to see to be in my face. Like, this is a story about a father and son who were estranged and got back together, and also somewhere in the background there's a demon. Like, that's not why I watch horror movies. That's not what I enjoy personally. That's not what I'm here for.
I mean, that's completely fair. It's completely understandable. I look at movies like that as more psychological horror than horror, whether it is or not.
I do love horrors.
Yeah, horrors are fun. I feel like horror movies are a lot of the times the one genre where they can get away with the bad guy winning and it doesn't cause an uproar in the story. And I feel like that's really crucial to the arcs, the way they're put together, because if it's okay for a bad guy to win in a horror movie, then you don't have to worry about, sometimes you don't have to apply that love interest. You can spend that energy elsewhere in the movie, building different story arcs. You don't have to necessarily have the love story arc in a horror movie. It's there, but it's not as necessary as, say, a comedy or a drama, because the good guy doesn't have to win in a horror movie.
It's always more interesting when you have that love arc and then one of the lovers dies brutally in front of the person they love.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Midnight Mass, calm down.
I'm just saying, roll her out into a boat, confess your love, and then burst into flames.
That's fucking traumatizing. He deserves so much better than that.
But so that was my problem with The Ring. Like I remember when they the flash to the girl after she had originally. You don't see Samara till like the last 10 minutes of the fucking movie. Like it's not till then that she crawls out. And also, I found a fucking plot hole that bugged the shit out of me through the entire movie.
Of course.
The reason that Naomi Watts' character did not get attacked was because she made a copy. She made a copy on the second fucking day. So if that negated everything that was supposed to happen to her, none of the rest of that movie should have fucking happened. Like, yeah, her husband should have died and her son probably, if, because she kept the copy, but like, she made the copy on day 2. Samara should have left her the fuck alone and moved the fuck on at that point. Like, there was no reason for Samara to keep torturing her because she wasn't going to die because she made a copy. That's why she was safe. That's why she didn't die. Like, that's what they told us, right? So, anyway. Will, what else you got?
That was the last of my list. All the movies that I've watched so far in October that were spooky.
Okay. Well, it may not be spooky, but we do have a Patreon. And I got some fun news for you guys. I don't know when, soon. I have to find it. I have to find the time to sit down and do it. But coming to Patreon is a new exclusive podcast. So not only for that $1 do you get Return to Wrestling, where Travis and I sit down and talk old school WCW, including Uncensored 1998, which is the newest episode that dropped this month. You also get Multiverse with Travis and Mara, where they talk DC animated films. And their newest episode, Batman The Long Halloween, Part 2, also available this month. And I don't know where it's going to land, but there will be a new podcast coming to Patreon. It will be me and my wife sitting down doing Am I the Assholes? We do it at home all the time between the two of us. Like, we'll hear one and we'll talk about, like, I'll be like, oh yeah, did you hear this one or did you see this? Or I'll send her a TikTok and shit. And then we'll just kind of break them down and discuss them and like why do all these people suck? The show's gonna be called If You Have to Ask. Then you're probably the asshole. So that is coming to Patreon. So when that comes, you're definitely going to want to hop on and check that out. So you'll have 3 podcasts plus all the other great stuff, including all of our shows ad-free. Click patreon.com/creationworld. Check out the tiers. The podcast will be available in every tier, but as you go up, you get more perks, including all of our shows ad-free, so you don't have to listen to the ads every time you watch us. We do have great sponsors, though. We've got dildos. We've got energy drinks. We've got dog food, which, I mean, depending on what you're into, you can use all at the same time or separately, wherever you're doing your thing. Yes, the Triple D. We've got discount codes. We've got sponsors. They're awesome. Hook yourself up. Get yourself some sex toys. Get yourself some energy drinks. Get yourself some accessories for your furry friend. And Travis is here to tell you all about that once I get rid of the banner.
Spice things up in the bedroom, then it's time to check out Adam and Eve. Because you see, Adam and Eve is the leading adult toy store that offers a wide range of products to help you explore your sexual desires. Whether you're looking for something to use solo or with a partner, they have everything you need to satisfy your cravings. From vibrators to lingerie, bondage gear to lubricants, AdamandEve.com has it all. And the best part, you can shop with confidence, knowing that all their products are of high quality and backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That means whether you bought a dildo, sex swing, penis ring, vibrator, anal sex toy, bondage toy, couples toy, lube, or accessory, you can get a refund within 90 days if you're not 100% satisfied. No questions asked. And right now, as a special offer to our listeners, Adam and Eve is giving you 50% off almost any item on their website. That's right, 50% off. And if you act now, you'll also get free shipping. So go to adamandeve.creationworld.com and use the offer code erotica at checkout. That's erotica at adamandeve.creationworld.com for 50% off almost any item and free shipping. Don't wait. This offer won't last very long. The link is in the description. Attention dog lovers. Are you looking for high quality products to spoil your furry friend? Then you need to check out dog.com. Because you see, dog.com is the go-to online store for all your dog-related needs. They offer a huge selection of dog food, treats, beds, and more. Plus, they have products for all types of dogs, from puppies to seniors and everything in between. And the best part, you can shop with confidence knowing that all their products are made with your dog's health and happiness in mind. Dog.com only stocks top-rated brands that you can trust, so you can rest easy knowing your dog is getting the best. And right now, as a special offer to our listeners, Dog.com is doing a big warehouse clearance sale. And all you have to do is go to dog.creationworld.com and you can get up to 80% off on all sorts of items like toys, treats, bones, harnesses, bowls, leashes, and anything else you can think of. So go to dog.creationworld.com and take advantage of this sale right now. Spoil your furry friend with the best products from dog.creationworld.com today. Link is in the description. Are you tired of feeling sluggish and unfocused throughout the day? Then it's time to try Dubby, the ultimate energy source. Dubby is a powerful, clean energy drink that is designed to help you stay alert and focused no matter what life throws your way. Whether you're a student, a busy professional, an athlete, or especially a gamer, Dubby can give you the boost you need to take on the day or the night. It also contains important aminos and vitamins that canned energy drinks simply don't have. And the best part, Dubby is made with high-quality ingredients and is completely sugar-free, maltodextrin-free, and is keto-friendly. So you can enjoy the energy boost without any of the crash, jitters, or angst that comes with traditional energy drinks. Simply mix Dubby with water and you'll have a delicious, refreshing energy drink that can help you power through your entire day. And with a variety of flavors to choose from, including Galaxy Grenade, Beach and Peach, and Dragonade, you're sure to find one that you love. So go to dubby.creationworld.com and order your Dubby today. And for a limited time, use code CREATIA at checkout to get 10% off your order. That's Creatia at dubby.creationworld.com for 10% off. Try Dubby today and feel the difference. The link is in the description.
It absolutely is in the description. Katie, when we started the show and I said I'd watched 42 horror movies, you kind of gave me a look, rolled your eyes a little bit this year. There's a reason for that, though. A little bit of backstory. Before getting off, before the Havoc Hour, before the ill-fated YouTube series that you can still go find called Slasher 101 under registered cinephiles that are still out there. Couple episodes you guys can still check out. They still exist early on, Matt, on the internet, before Creation World, before anything. I was a part of this Facebook group called All Things Horror. And it was very fun, very interactive group. It was a bunch of people who were really into horror all year long. We're talking horror movies. I had a buddy in there who made the actual original Smack and Raw graph, like the logo for me, by the name of Gary. He was a graphic designer. He had made a bunch of stuff for the website. I have a Leatherface picture that he made with my name, and it was a whole thing, a thing that I won that he sent out to me. He lives not far from me, just about a state away, an hour or so away. I've actually met him at conventions and stuff. Well, anyway, with all that being said, he invited me to a new group this year called 31 Horror Movies in 31 Days. And the goal in this group is that there are different challenges that you have to complete through the month of October. The main one being watching 31 horror movies in 31 days. And as you do that, you get like virtual achievements, the badges for your completions. So like there was the first one was the trilogy badge. If you could complete any 3 movies in a horror movie franchise or any trilogy, you got the trilogy badge. I did the House of 1,000 Corpses, Devil's Rejects, 3 from Hell. There was the field trip badge. If you go to a theater to watch something, which I got for Exorcist Believer, you got the field trip badge because you went on a field trip to go see a movie. You left your house. It's fun. There was like the gore badge, and then there was a list of movies of like extreme gore, like Saw or Hostel, shit like that. And you covered those. You get, your gore badge, and from that, what did I watch? I watched Hatchet and Halloween Kills, maybe?
Maybe. I mean, that has
Quite a bit of
high
gore.
skills.
Yeah. Super Saiyan Michael Myers.
There was something else, I think. I'm looking here. I might have actually 43 because I think I'm missing a movie here. But so I covered that. Then there was Universal Monsters badge. So anything, which is the one I just completed, anything featuring the Invisible Man, Dracula, the Wolfman, Frankenstein, whether it's remakes, whether it's Mary Shelley's, whether it's Bram Stoker's, you could have watched Blade Trinity because Dracula's technically in it. That counts. Anything featuring a Universal monster character would have got you that badge. So I went with the most recent Invisible Man, which I forgot really how good that fucking movie is. I enjoyed the shit out of it watching it again. And then Dracula 2000, just because there's so many famous people in it. And it's a fucking shit show to watch Gerard Butler as Judas as Dracula. Yeah, it's a thing.
Okay.
Then there's Gary, because he set up the group. He's got like his top 50 horror movies, and you had to watch 10 of his top 50.
Okay.
So a lot of those were Jason films. There was also a badge for the Friday the 13th weekend where if you watch 3 films from the Friday the 13th franchise or 2 films from the Friday the 13th franchise, you got that badge. So I did Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X and got that. But maybe it was American Mary. American Mary might have been the other one that I watched that was gore heavy.
Maybe.
Because that is a very gory movie. Or no, it was Evil Dead Rise. That's what it was. It was Evil Dead Rise.
Oh yeah.
Or no, Evil Dead 2013 and Hatchet. They're right there, right next to each other. Those two.
Regardless, both
Which
very gory.
I watch Evil Dead 2013 every year anyway, so that was no problem. And I love Hatchet. But on my list, Evil Dead Rise, Halloween Ends, and then Halloween 2, Halloween 4, Halloween 5, Halloween 6, Halloween 2018, and Halloween Kills. I skipped Halloween 3 this year, and I skipped H2O and Resurrection so far. I still have time, but they're at the bottom of my list. I love the Thorn trilogy, even though 5 is terrible. I love the new trilogy, even though Ends isn't my favorite movie. So I made sure I got it in time for all of those. I mentioned House of 1,000 Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and 3 from Hell, and American Mary. I also watched Wish Upon, which is like I have the unrated version of it. It's a weird, interesting PG-13 horror.
I don't know if I've ever heard of that.
Girl gets a wishing box, and pretty much every time she makes a wish on it, it kills somebody that she loves. And then it's kind of like, after getting everything she wants, does she want to give that up?
Bro, what the fuck?
To fix everything?
Oh my god.
And then the ending's kind of a shock as well. So,
Jesus.
Then I did Sleepaway Camp 2, because Sleepaway Camp's always fucking fun. And if you haven't seen Sleepaway Camp, it is an 80s slasher. It is absolutely ridiculous. 1, 2, and 3 they get crazier as it goes on, but they're great. Lights Out, which is always a fun one. Death Proof. I watched Friday the 13th, 2009, Friday the 13th, the original Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X. Oh, duh, I forgot about that. New movie. The Boogeyman. The Boogeyman that came out this year. I watched.
yeah.
I checked that out. I completely forgot about that. It was cool. It was different. Like,
Okay.
it's what you expect. Like, kid believes in the Boogeyman. Dad does not believe in the Boogeyman.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing going on, and them trying to prove that the Boogeyman's real, and blah blah blah, and who the Boogeyman is. So, like, it was a cool take on it. Like, you have that whole trailer with the girl rolling the light ball underneath her bed, and like,
Yep.
it's
Fuck
there.
that.
So, I mean, it does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. Also, what do you know the answer to Tommy's question?
What was the name of the movie of the family or whatever it is that was based on West Virginia that literally ate people's skin, whatnot? I can't think of the name of it. Wrong Turn.
Oh.
Yes, it's Wrong Turn.
He said, "Oh, it's fucking Wrong Turn."
Yeah.
He answered his own question. That's crazy. Good
I
job,
was
Tommy.
literally 2 seconds away from doing it. I watched The Conjuring 3 again, just because it is my least favorite it was my least favorite. The thing about the Conjuring movies is I never liked them the first time I watched them, and the more I watch them, the more I appreciate them. So, like, I didn't love The Conjuring the first time for whatever reason. The second time, I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking? I love this. This is great. The Conjuring 2, same thing. I got to it, and I felt like the end was kind of lackluster. Then after getting all the context of who Valak is and the nun and all of that, and I fucking love that movie for what it is now. Even with, like, the ending not being as big of a battle as I had hoped, like, I love it. In The Conjuring 3, when it was, for lack of a better phrase, just a witch and not like something super supernatural, like it was a physical being, a person. It wasn't a demon or something, which is what I gotten used to from the franchise. I was a little disappointed. Like, there was some cool shit in there. Like when they brought back the like 6'7", 400-pound corpse that fucking belly flopped onto Ed. Like, some cool shit in there. And the story is actually really, like, it is a good story. And the whole, like, them being underground, running through the fucking witches' tunnels, looking for the altar and all that shit. Like, it is a good movie. I don't know why, like, every time I watch one of these movies, I don't like it right away. And then I'm like, second or third time, and I'm like, you know what? No, this was good. This was good. What the fuck was I thinking? So
You just didn't appreciate it.
I might have that with The Exorcist too. Like, I might rewatch that and be like, you know what? This was good. Or Insidious, The Red Door. I don't know. By the way, Sammy, if you're still here, I saw you mention it twice. We had already talked about, Katie and I had seen No One Will Save You. So
Yeah, we liked it.
well, yes, except for the ending. The ending was,
Besides the ending.
listen, an ending is important. It's important, Katie.
I know.
As wrestling fans, we know we need the story to finish, and we need to finish it properly.
Even if I'm not gonna like the ending, I still need to. It still matters. You know what I mean? It's still important.
So, Evil Dead 2013, which I was watch, Hatchet, Halloween Kills, It chapters 1 and 2.
Nice.
Right after we watched the Joker Pennywise with Tim King. After that's when I popped those off because I was like, nah, I want to go see this. I watched the original Scream. I planned on watching all of them because Scream 6 is the only 2023 movie that I have seen this year that I did not go back and watch that I really enjoyed for Halloween. So, like, I was trying to figure out, like, what Screams do I want to watch? I know I don't want to watch 3. Can I just say I hate that Scream 3 has become one of those movies where, like, it sucks. It objectively sucks, but now there's just, like, a fan base of people like, it's actually the best movie, and we really love it, and it doesn't deserve all the hate that, like, no, it's trash. It really is trash. And I hate that you guys find all of these movies that suck, and you're like, I'm going to make that my personality. It's going to be my favorite movie, and I'm going to defend it to the death. Like, stop doing that. Stop trying to, like, make yourself feel special because you like a shitty movie.
Like,
They're the same people who
worse than the entire franchise.
It's the same people who like Season of the Witch.
I like Season of the Witch if it wasn't, like, if it didn't have the
Halloween
Halloween
movie?
name.
Yeah, but it does, and that's the problem.
First time I watched Season of the Witch, like, Matt can attest to this, I said, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I said, this is not what I was expecting.
So Scream, The Invisible Man, Three from Hell, Dracula 2000, The Ring, and then another Halloween favorite of mine that I watch every year is Trick or Treat because it's fucking amazing. It really
love
is.
Trick or
I love
Treat.
it. Love Sam. I can't wait
He's
for
the
Trick or
best.
Treat 2 if it ever finally comes out.
Probably never.
That is the everything we've talked about and what I just mentioned and ran down are the 42 horror movies that I've watched so far, 23 days into October, and I've still got 8 days to go.
Wow. That's crazy. I mean, I'm doing the 31 days. I have watched a horror movie every single day so far. I want to say the only like things I haven't seen before that are on my list: Exorcist Believer, obviously because I just saw it today. I watched Crimson Peak for the first time with like Tom Hiddleston, and I've never seen it before. I don't know why, but I liked it. It was kind of cool. It's not what I was expecting, but I was down. I was like, I need to watch something, and I was like, oh, Tom Hiddleston, I love him. Why not?
I don't know why I thought about this, but Sean Ross Sapp put out a tweet asking for like he was looking for a list of horror movies that were like something that could actually happen. Like we talked about like The Strangers, right?
Yeah.
And I was coming through the comments, like I sent him a list because I love horror movies and whatever, and like, hey, here's a list of shit that I really enjoy, you know, that I blah blah blah. You probably have seen some of it, I don't know, but a lot of people kept putting Ready or Not on that list. Have you guys seen Ready or Not?
Yes. You made me watch it last year.
Well, you have not seen this.
No.
Okay, so the premise behind Ready or Not is this chick marries into this family. She doesn't really feel like she fits in. She's not from like this rich society that they are, and they've kind of got a secret. And when someone marries into the family, they play a game. You kind of pick the game. Sometimes it's hide and seek or whatever. It ends up being, you know, hide and seek, and they have to kill her before the night is over. Otherwise, the rumor is that all of their heads will explode and they'll die, right? And as the movie's going on, like it feels like this weird, fucked up, rich hunting the poor movie, and they put this poor woman into this thing and blah blah blah. And they're even like at one point they're like, we don't even know that the curse is actually real, right? And when daylight comes and she has made it that far, you're like, oh, okay, everything's cool. Then their heads do explode and the curse is real. And I'm like, this is not a realistic scenario that you were like, this is not something you could watch that's actually going to happen. Everything up to,
yeah.
Their heads fucking exploding from a curse, yes.
Which is
but
so
overall,
good.
It is a really fun movie to watch. And the way she kind of gets through it and survives and deals with all the shit. Another really good movie.
Comedy.
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say it's comedic. It's comedic.
It's a little horror comedy, yeah. The Hunt with Betty Gilpin from Glow.
Yes. You also made me watch that one.
You need to check out The Hunt.
Okay.
I'm not going to spoil it. It was one of my favorite movies the year it came out. It's fun as shit. Think of the horror or the Hunger Games if it was a horror movie.
Basically.
I like that.
What is the one? I can't remember the name and I don't want to Google it. It's the girls.
You're Next.
Fuck you. Yeah, you're right.
I know because I talked about it last night. So when I was at this Halloween party and we were bullshitting, because it's horror movies, Halloween, and then me, and like I was talking about the podcast and stuff, they were asking me about it, and they were kind of telling like, oh, when I was in the theater, like I was the only one that screamed during this movie, and it was like not a movie that you'd expect someone to scream and this and that, blah blah blah. I'm like, the only thing I have close to that is when I saw You're Next in theaters. There is a scene in You're Next where the girl escapes and she gets to the neighbor's house and she gets to the glass window, and I've seen so many horror movies that I knew what was coming next. I knew she was going to turn around and she was going to get stabbed in the stomach and she was going to die. And she turned around and this guy jacked her in the face and she fell through the plate glass window, and I started dying laughing, like eruptive laughter, because it caught me off guard. I was not expecting him to jack this chick in the face and knock her through a window.
It was very
Every movie I've ever seen, you run to that point, you're banging on the window, you turn around. They have it in the Friday the 13th remake, almost. She gets to the window, Jason shows up, grabs her, pulls her away, right? Like,
yeah.
that's what I expect in these kind of movies, these slashers. Someone getting punched so hard in the face they fall through a window was not what I was expecting. And it caught me off guard, and I died fucking laughing.
It's very much unexpected. But that movie, I would say that's a realistic one.
Yep. That was on the list.
Of course. I didn't see
Green Room's on the list. The Strangers is on the list.
Strangers is terrifying.
And then obviously Strangers Pray at Night.
I would say
The
Hush.
Collector and The Collection, which I also...
Those are great.
I don't know if I watched those I watched The Collector this year, but I think it was in September. I don't think it was in October.
I watched one of those in theaters. I don't remember which one, but I used to have the movie stub of it. And I would see it with my friends, and I remember being traumatized leaving it, but I don't remember which one I saw. I think I just need to watch both of them again.
Yeah, no, The Collector is fucking amazing. You want to talk about Macaulay Culkin like you did with Saw? The Collector is Macaulay Culkin grown up and turned evil. Like that is
Could be
Home
both.
Alone all the way. The Collection is also fun. And it's funny because I was talking to somebody and this guy's like, yeah, I watched The Collection for the first time. And his brother's like, have you seen The Collector? And he's like, no. He's like, you saw The Collection, but you haven't. He's like, I didn't even know there was another. It's like, no, it's the first movie. Like, he's like, as soon as dude fell out of the box, I was just sure he was in cahoots with the bad guy. He was part of this thing. And I'm like, well, that's because you didn't watch the first fucking movie to find out how he got in the box. You didn't even know who he was.
Yeah, because The Collection is the club scene, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I saw in
Fucking
theaters.
Awesome.
Yeah, I saw that one in theaters in high school.
I love a good movie with a great opening scene, which is why to this day, Evil Dead 2013 is still one of my favorite movie of the last decade when it comes to horror. It has the greatest opening scene in a horror movie. Anyone that has not seen it, I force them to sit down and watch the opening scene and then have them tell me if you are a fan of horror that you do not want to watch the rest of this movie based on that scene.
You did that with me and Reek.
I did. I saw it twice in 2013, the day before and on my birthday, back to back, paid for tickets twice, went and saw it. Standing ovation after the opening scene, the very first time I saw it, and I was not the only one that stood up and clapped for
Nice.
that. It was fucking great, and I love it. I know it's not the Evil Dead that everyone expects.
It's better.
Yes. I will say Evil Dead Rise is probably a little closer to a good mix between what 2013 was and what the original Evil Dead is.
Yeah.
So it's got a little bit more in there, and I can see why people would like Evil Dead Rise a little better than 2013 if you're looking for an Evil Dead experience.
Yeah.
If you really just want to watch Evil Dead in the 2020s, go watch Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. It's an Evil Dead movie.
He's not wrong.
It's literally an Evil Dead remake in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
I might throw that in my list because that should count.
It should count.
I'm just gonna add that. I'm just gonna add that into I have my lists with all my franchises and shit. I'm just gonna pop Multiverse of Madness into the Evil Dead list.
I mean, fuck it. Why not?
I'm trying to think. I have not watched anything Freddy this year, so I wanna do that. I have not watched anything. I watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003. Maybe that might have been it. Maybe that was, I don't know. I forget what I watched that for, but I did not. So here's the thing. I'll watch these movies and then I'll be like, oh, I have to go update my list. And I'll watch 2 or 3 movies a day. And sometimes I'll get home and I'll start a movie at 11 o'clock and I'll finish it at 1 a.m. the next day. And then I'll wake up and I'll start watching a movie or throughout my day. and then I go to update at the end, and I'll forget something somewhere in there when I watched it.
Oh, yeah.
Until I start talking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, I did watch that, because I know for a fact I watched Jessica Biel in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yep.
Love that movie. Poor Kemper.
I watched that the other day.
So that was 43. That's 43 at least, because that was not on the list. So I have watched something Leatherface this year. Nothing Hellraiser yet. So I got to get on that as well. What else? Let me look around. What else do I got here?
Let me just take a peek real quick.
I really do it's weird. I remember, because I mentioned American Mary. Have either of you seen American Mary?
No.
All right. So Catherine Isabel, who I absolutely love, is in that movie. If you're not familiar with her work, she is in Ginger Snaps. She is also in Freddy vs. Jason. She plays Gibbs. And then if you are a wrestling fan and you're familiar with See No Evil, she's in See No Evil 2 with my girl Danielle Harris. And that was a dream come true to have both of them in the same movie for me. She's great. And essentially, she is a medical student who gets taken advantage of by older doctors on staff, which kind of leads to a downward spiral in her life, where she gets into illegal underground body modification surgeries and stuff, but also takes revenge on the guys that kind of did her dirty.
Good.
And it's got a really interesting ending. We loved it. And it was really, really, really fucking hard to find. I can only get it on Amazon for whatever reason. It was the only place I could find to watch it and buy it. I couldn't buy it on Vudu. There's a weird couple movies that I really want in my Vudu collection that I just can't get. American Mary was one of them. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which is that I cannot get for whatever reason. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which is the only Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie for whatever reason I can't get, is another one. But yeah, no, I had not watched it in a very long time because it's really hard to find. So we went back and American Mary was a good watch. Okay. Again, it's not as, after you've seen Saw and everything, I don't think it hits as hard, because I've seen so much shit now. You watch Saw 10 and you watch a girl saw through her own leg with a fucking wire saw, and then it's it's not as extreme. But when it came out, it was a very extreme movie. It's by the Soska sisters. There's a lot of really interesting, what would have been considered extreme brutality in that movie back then.
Okay.
You watched anything else this year, Katie?
This month, just throwing on Fear Fest to pass the time.
Did you watch Eli Roth's History of Horror yet?
No. I will watch it before the end of October. Talk to me not tomorrow on Crash Conversations.
Oh, I'm talking to you tomorrow about it.
Next week on Crash Conversations, I will have watched it by then. I promise. Fuck you. I have other things to watch. Wow. Fall of the House of Usher is priority numero uno, my guy.
Eli Roth's A History of Horror is a great documentary. I actually found a couple really cool documentaries I didn't know existed. One on Chucky and one on the It TV miniseries. The original, the one that scared me as a child. Which is funny because, so when John said that the last movie he watched that really scared him was The Ring, I'm sitting there and I'm telling him, this is going to be for Caroline what it was when I showed you it. Because when I showed John it for the first time, and we talked about it on the Patreon, I'm not going to get into all of it. If you want to go see it, pay $3, go to Katie's Patreon and listen to us talk about horror stories and things that scared us and all sorts of shit. Mm-hmm. We also have another podcast you guys can go back and check out for Getting Off called Movies That Scared Us. You can go listen to that, and we talk about it there too. Mm-hmm. But one of the most traumatic movies of my childhood was It.
Yeah.
Fucking I showed John. We were 13. He's sitting there, he's looking at me. He's like, this isn't scary. And I'm like, well, yeah, not to a fucking 13-year-old, but to a 5-year-old, this was fucking terrifying. All right. And when something terrifies you as a 5-year-old, it sticks with you. I still, to this day, cannot look at Tim Curry and not see that fucking clown. I still, to this day, just don't like clowns in general because of what he did, because of that childhood trauma. And I told John, I'm like, this is going to be the same thing. Like, you're going to show her this movie and be like, this is the last movie that scared me. And she's going to look at you and be like, dude, this isn't that scary.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it was. She started to fall asleep during The Ring.
She's fucking tired. Go to bed. I don't blame her.
Trying to think of what else. Or did you said you haven't really watched anything else, just stuff on Fear Fest?
Yeah, I don't think anything else. Nothing that's like popping out. Yeah, like Fear Fest, sci-fi, just anything I see that's spooky. I throw on.
Right. Goosebumps has been really good.
I do need to watch that.
So
Al just started that.
It's different, right? Like if you guys grew up like I did with the books and then the kids show, right?
Yep.
With the readers beware, you're in for a scare. And it's like an anthology series of all the books and all the different stuff. This is one story that ties in parts of the books into the story.
Okay.
So each episode is kind of based on a story, and then they take like the Haunted Mask or the Cuckoo Clock of Doom, and they intertwine it into this extended, so far, I think 6 episodes. Is something different each time, where they're kind of winding in aspects of the books into one cohesive story. Justin Long is great in it. The cast is fun as shit. It is like it's like a teen, like, you know, Riverdale.
Like an adult.
Yeah, exactly. That sort of thing. Like, it's 20-somethings cast as teenagers, blah, blah, blah. But
sounds about right.
It's good shit. I'm enjoying the shit out of it. And I grew up on Goosebumps, so it's fun to watch that and see how they're playing that out and how it's going and all of that.
Love Goosebumps.
Chucky season 3 has been fun as fuck.
It's so good. So outrageous. Who let him in the White House? Who decided that was a good idea?
I mean, they showed us who let him in the White House and how he got in.
I meant like creator-wise. Like, why was that your next decision?
Because they needed the most evil place on the planet, Kate.
KT?
No, Kate. You're Kate right now.
I'm not Kate.
You are Kate right now.
That was false information. But like, it's so good. And isn't this week like the mid-season finale?
I think so.
Which, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, 4 episodes in and we're at the mid-season finale and they're gonna make us wait. That's bullshit.
It's garbage.
But no, it's been fun. The last episode, which is kind of like the lead up to everything that we've already watched in the first 2 episodes, and the horror tie-ins and everything is fun as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely loved it. Like, little sprinkles of like other things in there.
Jennifer Tilly.
Jennifer Titties, yeah.
They're huge. It's great.
Have you been keeping up on Chucky, Will?
No, absolutely not. Chucky is to me what Pennywise is to you. If we go back and watch that Getting Off episode, I haven't watched anything Child's Play related since I watched that first movie. Scared the shit out of me. Have no desire whatsoever to fuck with Chucky, comedy or not.
But see, now that's the difference between you and I, because even after seeing that, I went and I read the book all the way through, and outside of this year, since I got out of high school, I could have counted the number of books I've read on one hand and had fingers left over. So this year has been a little different. Wife's got me into some romantic mafia novels and shit like that. Neither here nor there.
As she should.
Yeah. But like, I went and I watched it. I watched it, chapter 2. Like, I confronted that fear of my childhood. I'm like, I'm not going to let them ruin my life. I'm not going to avoid this. I'm going to confront it head on. I'm going to see what Stephen King wrote down in this book. I'm going to watch these movies. I'm going to get over it. And I think you should too, because once you get to Bride of Chucky, it's no longer scary and it's just fucking fun and ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, he's just a little
if
tiny menace.
if you rip a bong and sit down and watch Bride of Chucky, you might fall in love with Chucky. And Seed is a time. Curse is pretty good. Cult is interesting.
Also a
The
choice.
series is fucking fantastic. And it gives you all that lore and backstory and it tries its hardest to tie kind of a disjointed, discombobulated universe a little bit together to make it make sense. So
I think they do a semi good job
yeah, for what they have.
Yeah, for all these random ass things. Like we got there and it's great.
So I definitely recommend getting over your fear of Chucky. Now, is it just Chucky or is it dolls in general for you, Will?
Just Chucky. I can handle dolls. Like I went through the Annabelle series and stuff like that. And showing, like bringing him up on the camera. Yeah.
When he
I had to look.
I
was like, where did he
you?
go? He's on a shelf back there. But I was like, where did he go?
Yeah, he used to just hang out on the chair behind you.
Just hit like right here on the desk with me.
Sometimes, yeah. The good old
I had one that talked. Like it had a button and it would say phrases. And I gave it to my wife's cousin's child because she was obsessed with Chucky. And my wife's cousin is not a big fan of me after that. Has not been. She specifically told me, do not do that. So we showed up for her birthday and I handed it to her and I said, this is for you. And I gave it to her. She came out to the car and got it from me. And her mom did not witness it until she brought it back in the house. Apparently she took the batteries out so it stopped fucking talking.
Is what it is.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
Anything you guys are looking forward to watching the rest of this year on your list?
Saw X for sure. Something that I watched recently, not in October, that was really good was The Menu. Not really a horror movie.
We talked about that.
Yeah, I just thought about that one too. That was well worth the watch if you haven't seen it, especially if you're from the restaurant industry. But I'm going to watch Saw X, and there's a couple that I wrote down: History of Horror, The Hunt, You're Next, Bride of Chucky. Like I'll probably try to get into these over the next few weeks. We've got a subathon coming up, so we're doing 48 hours of horror. So I will have more than ample time to watch a lot of movies on this list.
Let me know when you do that because I'll pop in for that.
I will.
I will.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of fun movies on that list. I already talked. I love shark movies. Like I am terrified of sharks. I have told Kate, like, I will take you to the ocean. I will not get in it with you. Like they have pools for a reason. I don't need to go out in the ocean. Sharks hunt in shallow waters. Like there's a movie called The Shallows for that reason. It exists about sharks killing people in the shallow waters. I was one of those people who would like be in a pool at night and freak out thinking there were sharks in there because I watched Jaws and it scared the shit out of me as a child.
Yeah.
Because you can't see underneath the water.
Yep.
But I do love shark movies. Like I love Deep Blue Sea. I love watching shark movies. And as ridiculous as The Meg was, I'm looking forward to The Meg 2. And I tried watching it last night without Kate, and she refused to let me watch it without her. She's like, I want to see that. And I'm like, all right, well, I've got a list of shit I got to get through. And I'm like, if we watch one on Halloween, we can still get this, and I'll still be able to watch everything within the month of October that I want to watch. So
there you go.
Totally Killer, which seal of approval from Will.
For sure.
The Meg 2 and Talk to Me are the last three that I'm really looking forward to getting in this year. So I've got 8 days to bang those out.
You got it.
Oh, I will. Kate knows I'll just watch it without her if it comes to it. So,
well, that's true. I mean, the only thing besides finishing Fall of House of Usher, which I'll literally do tomorrow after we're done with Grace Conversation, Goosebumps is probably like the only other thing that like I off the top of my head that I know I want to watch.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
I'm not watching Winnie the Pooh.
Why not?
No. And there's like a 3 Blind Mice one too, apparently. So you can add that to your fucking list. They all need to be stopped.
I'm
All
so
of them.
excited.
I
I heard that there was one with like Oscar the Grouch or some shit too.
What the fuck? Why?
Because IPs are becoming public domain. Like, did you see? I don't think it was with you, or was it with you, where we watched the Winnie the Pooh horror video game?
No, that was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I said, "What the fuck is this?"
Yep.
It was like Winnie's Hole or something.
Well, if you're not gonna watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, you should at least watch Slaughterhouse.
I'd rather watch Winnie the Pooh. I'm not watching
I'm never living
Slaughterhouse.
that down, am I?
No.
Show up tired, shirtless, on a stream, and I flub one word, and it's gonna stick with me forever.
It just sounds funnier.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I've been holding the fact that you can't do math and you've never watched movies over you for as long as I've known you. So you holding Winnie the Pooh over me is only fair.
Yeah, you've been doing this shit for 3 years. I've been doing it for a day.
Yep.
So fuck you.
I can handle it.
You'll be fine.
All right. If you guys got nothing else you're looking forward to, or nothing else like on your must-watch list that you got to bang out before the end of the year.
No, I just need to go to the movies 11 more times so I can get upgraded to premium for free. Which will be easy because there's a lot of there's not horror movies that are coming out that I want to see. So
yeah. Well, when's that subathon?
The 29th, 30th, and 31st.
Where can they find that?
At Rivet City Radio, twitch.com/Rivet City Radio, youtube.com/@Rivet City Radio.
Where can they find you?
At The Will Gray. If they check my link tree there, they'll find everything I do. For Watch Spots and Chair Shots, Rivet City Radio, Off the Top Media, and Creation World.
Katie, where can they find you?
At Katie Rassin13 on Twitter.
Where can they sub to you?
Twitch.tv/SheLead Showcase and YouTube.com/SheLead Showcase. There's too many S's. It's too hard.
What did you get for making fun of me about Winnie the Pooh?
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh. It's fine.
Anything else you want to plug?
Patreon.com/SheLead Showcase.
Where for $3 you get
a exclusive non-wrestling podcast every single month. Last month was Law & Order SVU. This month was Matt and I talking childhood trauma, ghosts. Matt doing dumb white people shit. You did.
Mad. I'm proud.
I did dumb white people shit with an audience, so
I was there. I was a part of the audience on a Zoom call, nonetheless. It was great.
I don't recommend it, but it had to be done.
It did.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at Matt Ritter. There's an MATTRIDDER, or at Getting Off. Getting Off is this show. It is this horror podcast. It is everything we've done, all 20 episodes and everything we have covered. You'll be able to find there. I fucked up and deleted my pin tweet that had everything, so I have to redo that because I was deleting some other shit and that got deleted on accident.
So
but if you go to Facebook or if you go to youtube.com/Creation World, you go to lists. Travis has the majority of these episodes in there, but not all of them. Again, this is a work in progress. This podcast should be out in audio form, hopefully before the end of the year. I'm not going to let that go until it is. Matt Ritter is where you can find me for all my wrestling content. And if you want to follow me on other forms of social like Instagram, Threads, TikTok, or Blue Sky, you can follow me there at Smacking It Raw. And that'll get you everything that we do, whether it's wrestling or Getting Off. I'll update everything on that there. It won't be separate like it is on X. I just did a TikTok where they asked me to piss off an entire fan base by saying one sentence, and I looked very angrily into the camera and said AEW was better with CM Punk. So like, here's the thing. The one that I saw, this guy asked about how to about like putting a cast iron skillet in the dishwasher, and I feel like anyone that exactly, see, and like I feel like if you have a cast iron skillet, you don't do that, right? So I was like, okay, this is going to be like one of those joking things where like I say something that I know would piss people off, but like I don't really think. So I'm in the shower and I'm thinking things like, I'm going to get on there and be like, piss off an entire fan base by saying one sentence and be like, nobody knew who AJ Styles was before WWE, just to like, dumb shit. Or I really like Halloween. That's the one with Jason, right? Shit like that. Like that was my original plan. And then I was sitting down and I was like, I'm going to say something that might actually piss people off. Like not some dumb, obviously stupid shit that as a fan you hear all the time and it pisses you off, but something that might actually piss off the AEW fan base because they hate Phil. And I kind of believe that it was better when he was there. So
to each their own. Hey, I got House of Black still. I don't care.
Have you ever seen Sons of Anarchy?
Yes.
No.
I have one of my drafts that I've saved for a long time.
I want to know.
Opie deserved it.
Wow. I don't even watch that. I've never even watched that show, and I think that's crazy.
Oh.
That comes up as like one of the most like brutal deaths in like a Watch Mojo video. I don't even watch that show.
And I love Opie's character throughout the entire show. Everything that he does. I've never posted it out, as weird as it sounds, out of respect for Opie. Because I was like, he was the best character in the entire show. Like, in my opinion. He was the Samwise Gamgee of Sam Crow.
Look at us. Young Kings Wrestling didn't show up, but we did a Young Kings Wrestling outro where we plugged ourselves and then went on a tangent before we actually closed the show. For Miss Katie Kinsey Bebe, host of the She Elite Showcase and all things She Elite, and the Will Gray, a chef by trade and a mark by choice. I am the patron saint of podcasting, Warden Matt Ritter, and this has been your #1 horror podcast on Pornhub.